different words to describe dumb people. We also learned people connected to law and order, people who connected to people who break the law, places connected to law and order, verbs connected to law and order, and we also learned verbs connected to crime. Crime, as many of the topics we have been discussing, it's a very wide topic. So that's why we were talking about different types of crime. Entonces, see, if you remember, there's an activity that I asked you to please do as a homework. Just give me a minute. So good morning, Arleth. Good morning, Carla. Good morning, Jonathan. Welcome to today's session. Who else? I think this is pretty much it. Good morning. Good morning, guys. Welcome. I'm happy to hear you. So the idea was for you to do a brief research on the meanings of these words, okay? Because the idea today is to divide these crimes into different categories. But in order to be able to divide them into categories, we need to understand the exact meaning. Some of these crimes are similar, but they are not the same. O sea, que no se pueden utilizar. Algunas palabras van a ser más generales que otras, but you cannot use them as synonyms. Okay? Good morning, Aurelia. Welcome to today's session. Alejandro, good morning. Welcome. Okay? So this is good morning. So this is what I want us to do right now. Okay? So what we are going to do is that you are going to divide these crimes into different categories. Okay? In teams. Pero tienen que dar explicación de por qué pertenece. Por ejemplo, si ustedes consideran que shoplifting y smuggling van en la misma categoría, ¿por qué los pusieron en esa categoría? Okay? The idea is to come up with only one categorization within the team. No se vale que cada quien tenga su categorización. Pero cuando yo pregunte, por ejemplo, cuando yo le pregunte a Arlette, quiero que Arlette me haga un resumen de su equipo. ¿Qué decidieron que iba junto y por qué decidieron que smuggling y shoplifting iban juntos? ¿Okay? Por ejemplo. Pero no se vale decirme, es que yo creo, no. Mi equipo y yo decidimos, my team and I decided that shoplifting and smuggling belong to the same category because whatever. Okay? That's why you are going to explain your choices. And then I want you, once you have done this discussion or this categorization, what you are going to do very quickly is to decide which is the most serious crime in your opinion and which crimes are common in Mexico from only this list. Entonces, vamos a hacer eso rápidamente. I'm giving you only 5 minutes to do this. Okay? So good morning, Jennifer. Welcome to today's session. So are we clear on what it is that we're doing?
Yes.
Okay, so we're classifying, we're explaining our reasons, pero tiene que dar una clasificación por equipo. Okay, entonces por eso esa va a ser la negociación. Y la otra parte es, which is the most serious crime in your opinion, and which crimes are the most common in Mexico. Okay, so this is what we are doing. So we're working in 3 teams. Okay. So see you guys in exactly 5 minutes, okay? I'm opening all the rooms.
Hi.
Hi. Hello, Ricardo, Arlette, Aurelia, good morning. How are you guys?
Morning.
It's Friday.
remember that you have 5 minutes, okay? So hurry up.
Yes, teacher.
The classification of this board, it could be from how hard is the crime, or for example, the type of crime.
I don't know, whatever you prefer.
Okay.
It doesn't. I mean, you have to decide, but that's the assignment. If you are if you decide on a classification, you have to explain why.
Okay, teacher.
We can, for example, we can classify it into I don't know, like minor crimes or big crimes, into minor and are more serious crime.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. For example, into minor crimes, it can be the shoplifting, que es como que robo a tiendas. Bueno, depende. Bueno, sí, es que in here we have the well, I found that it's the crime of taking goods from store without paying for them.
Yes. It's well, I think it's a minor crime.
Yeah, another could be cyber stalking. Bueno, esa no la encontré, pero supongo que debe ser como acoso.
Sí, ciberacoso.
Yes. What could you, Arlet or Aurelia? Do you want to participate to help us?
I got some words for to similar. For example, blackmail with bravery.
Yeah.
They are similar.
Well, it depends. I think that it can be both of them. Because, for example, if you are like a cheater, como un estafador, no sé, puedes, o alguien te quiere sobornar, yeah, that can be any kind of person, but if it happens in the government and por lavado de dinero o algo, yeah, it can be more serious. It counts like a serious crime. I don't know if I explain myself.
Yeah, it depends, you know.
Yeah, like getting like receiving a brewery, it's like the same, because it depends of the situation, I think. But I don't know what do you say. Hi, Juan Manuel.
Hola, acabo de llegar y no sé qué estamos haciendo, perdón.
Ok, ¿quieres explicarle? Nah.
Bueno, si quieres yo le digo. Bueno, lo que estamos haciendo es como dividir y clasificando los crímenes que vienen en la página creo que es en la 117, en la actividad 8A, y nosotros lo estamos clasificando así como del crimen, como de como el
como
peor crimen.
Como
Ajá.
delitos menores y mayores, algo así.
Ajá.
Okay.
De mayores, medios y menores. Entonces, entre esos tenemos que clasificarlos.
Okay.
Speeding.
So, well, I'm not sure, but I think vandalism is probably the worst, because that crime involves destroy or
exactly.
damage things,
Yeah.
and maybe it could damage people.
In,
And yeah, for me, it's the worst.
how can we say daños en propiedad ajena? Maybe damage in
Damage
private
property.
property.
Yes.
Okay. Oh yeah, that what did you say that is that like minor crime or Juan Manuel?
Sorry.
What kind of of crime do you think that is? Or could you repeat? ¿Qué tipo de crimen?
Vandalism.
Ajá.
¿Qué tipo?
¿En cuál lo clasificarías?
I don't know how to say it in English, but it's like well, es que creo que como que bueno, a mí me suena como que vandalismo es como una categoría, ¿no? No sé.
Sería en delitos menores, ¿no?
Ujú.
Sí, podría ser. No es tan grave. Bueno, ahora sí que no. It doesn't involve like hurt someone, just the material damage.
Yes.
Yes.
And speeding, maybe could be minor crime.
Speeding?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Smuggling, I don't know, could we?
Smoking could be the worst. It's one of the worst crime, no?
Yeah. It's like traficar, ¿no?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, contrabando.
Yes.
Yes.
Smuggling, like asaltar,
Smuggling.
smoking. The last one.
Well, I do a classification, so I don't know if you want. I tell you, and if you want, you move the crimes in another classification.
That's okay. Could you tell us?
Well, I put in worst crime, smuggling and mugging. Medium crime, I put pickpocketing and bribery and blackmail. And in minor crime, I put shoplifting, speeding, and vandalism. So I don't know if you are agree.
I think that I agree. For work crime, I put shoplifting, cyber stalking, smuggling, and mugging. I think we have the same, you know.
Okay. I didn't hear you very well. Sorry, but it's similar, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think that in general, shoplifting, blackmail, and cyber stalking.
Okay, guys, so welcome back to the main chat room. Okay, so As I said when I visited each of the teams, there is no right way to classify these crimes, okay? Because they are different kinds of crimes, and they are not actually synonyms. Some of them may be close to another. So there are many, what I'm saying is that there are many ways to classify them. But the most important thing when classifying words is being able to understand what these, in this case, crimes are. All of these are nouns because we are describing crimes. So we have, por eso tienen en ing algunos, porque tenemos mugging, smuggling, vandalism, pickpocketing, speeding, shoplifting, blackmail, and cyber stalking. All of them are, as I said, nouns. Por eso la manera en que las describimos están aquí como the crime, the act, the crime, the use of, willful or malicious destruction, an attempt to, driving faster, an act of attacking, okay? Entonces, por eso se empieza la definición así, because all of them are nouns, okay? So, Arleth, would you please read the first definition and tell us which crime do you think it refers to?
Yes, the crime of taking goods from a store without paying for them.
Mm-hmm.
In case shoplifting.
Exactly. So you see, this is a compound word, shoplifting. So you are taking something from a shop. So that's why shoplifting is the crime of taking goods from a store without paying for them. It could be all kinds of shoplifting, desde las farderas que se meten cosas debajo de la falda, por ejemplo, or if you eat something at the supermarket without paying, that's shoplifting too. Okay? Thank you. Alberto, please, would you please read the second definition and tell us to which kind of crime do you think it refers to?
Yes, teacher. The act or process of taking things or people to or from a place secretly and often illegally.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is bribery?
No. Because you see here, you are taking things or people to or from one place secretly and often illegally.
It is smuggling?
Exactly. So that's what you do when you smuggle. When you smuggle, it is because you take things or people from one to or from one place secretly and often illegally. That's smuggling. Okay. So it could be, por ejemplo, lo que los polleros hacen para pasar a la gente de México a Estados Unidos o de Guatemala a México. That's smuggling. Okay. Good. Thank you, Alberto. Jennifer Martinez, please, number 3, the third one. Would you please read the definition?
The act of getting money from people or forcing them to do something by threatening to tell a secret of secret. Oh, yeah, threatening.
Acuérdense de la TH interdental, threatening.
Threatening to tell a secret of theirs or to harm them. Blackmailing?
Yes, that's blackmail, okay, or blackmailing, okay? So please remember threatening, TH interdental, okay? Good, thank you. Aurelia, please, what about next definition?
The crime of stealing things out of people's pockets or bags, especially in a crowd. Sería pickpocketing.
Pickpocketing, okay? Please remember chunkings, guys. Entonces es the crime of stealing things out of people's pockets or bags, especially in a crowd, okay? So that's pickpocketing. So what happens in the subway when someone steals something from you, that is pickpocketing, okay? Good. Chevel, please, next.
Yes, the use of electronic communication to harass or threaten someone with physical harm is cyber stalking.
Okay, so please remember, harass or threaten. Threaten is TH interdental. Threaten, okay? So to harass or threaten someone with physical harm.
Yes.
Okay. So that's, as I just said, cyber stalking. Okay, good. Thank you, Cheryl. Brenda, please, next.
Willful? Willful or malicious destruction or defacement of public or private property and
private property.
Private property. Vandalism.
Vandalism. Okay, so vandalism. Okay, so you see, guys, willful, will quiere decir con toda la intención, es decir, willful quiere decir con intención, lleno de intención, pues, ok, esa sería la traducción literal, pero el equivalente sería con intención, ok, or malicious destruction or defacement of public or private property. Defacement quiere decir lastimar la fachada de, bueno, no lastimar, sí, hacerle algo, dañar la fachada de algo, ¿ok? Por eso ahí, defacement of public or private property. So that's why it is vandalism, and that's why it is a crime. Yesterday, no, the other day, we were talking about vandalism as, we were discussing whether vandalism was a crime. Well, it is a crime. The way you see it, it is a crime, okay? Why? Because there is a destruction or defacement of public or private property. Okay, entonces, si a un grafitero le dan una barda y le dicen, aquí pinta tu graffiti, obviamente eso no es crimen porque le están permitiendo que lo haga. Pero si la persona está destruyendo o manchando la propiedad ajena, ya sea privada o pública, lo que sea, sin el consentimiento de la persona, that's a crime. ¿Sí? Si llega un grafitero y le dice, oiga, ¿me presta su barra para pintar? Y ustedes dicen que sí, eso no es crimen. Pero si llegan y les grafitean la puerta de su casa, por ejemplo, o el ángel de la independencia, lo que sea, no importa la intención, ¿sí? Ayer en la clase pasada hablábamos, por ejemplo, de cuando las feministas hicieron su marcha y se estaban manifestando, sí, no importa que haya sido una manifestación, que el objetivo detrás de esa manifestación no es que no importe, es que eso no le quita la gravedad al problema, no sé si me explico. O sea, porque el hecho de que haya un daño, eso de todos modos sigue siendo un crimen. Que puede tener un menor castigo por el propósito de eso, es otra cosa, ¿sí? Pero él es un daño, entonces eso por eso sigue siendo un crimen, ¿ok? Now, thank you. So, who else? Okay, so Ricardo, please, next.
An attempt to make someone attempt to make someone do something for you by giving the person money, present, or something else that they want. It's bribery.
Bribery. Okay, so yes, that's bribery. Okay, thank you. Alejandro, please, next.
Driving faster than is allowed in a particular area. Speeding.
Speeding, okay, yes. And the last one, please, Carla.
An act of attacking someone and stealing their money. Mugging.
Mugging, okay, so yes. So if there is an attack at someone and this person takes your money, takes the person's money, that's mugging, okay? So that's why there are different types of robbery, stealing, etc. Porque cada tipo de robo tiene una variante. Por ejemplo, normalmente during pickpocketing, most of the times people do not feel they are being stolen, okay? When mugging, there is an attack, okay? Robbery is a general idea, a general concept, because robbery means all kinds of people taking your property. Entonces, pickpocketing y mugging entrarían en robbery and stealing. También hay, también si entran a tu casa, hay es otro tipo de robo, etc. Entonces, cada tipo de robo tiene una palabra distinta. Tiene una manera, o sea, no es robo nada, pero son robos Los diferentes tipos de robos. Okay, so problems, questions, or complaints up to here regarding meaning, guys?
No, teacher.
No problems, no questions, no complaints.
No.
Just be careful, guys, with the pronunciation of these words, okay? We are learning these words, so remember that the part of learning new words has to do with the pronunciation. So, Jonathan, among your team, you discussed which was the most serious crime. So according to what you discussed in your team, which was the most serious crime? To be the most serious one? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Smuggling and mugging. Why smuggling? To hurt a person, okay? So that's what this is a crime in which people may get hurt. Okay, good. Thank you. So which crimes are most common in Mexico? Anna, please. Which are the most common crimes in Mexico from this list?
Was smuggling, mugging, vandalism, pickpocketing, and bribery.
And bribery. Okay, good. Okay, so those are the most common in Mexico. I think most of them are common everywhere, but yes, those are the most common in Mexico City. Okay. Okay, good, guys. So now the other day we started talking. Well, I was asking you a couple of questions. And what would you do? Sorry, what would you do under those circumstances? Just give me a second to share with you. No, this is not. Just give me a minute, please. Just give me a second, please. Sorry, guys, my internet is pretty slow. My internet connection is pretty slow this morning. So I know. So sorry, we didn't start it, okay? But we are going to do this. We're going to start this lesson today, okay? So I have a couple of questions for you guys, okay? So what would you do? Sorry, guys, what is that I've done? I know what is that I've done. Sorry, guys. I don't know what I've done. So as I was saying, what I would like you to do is to think very, very quickly, what would you do under these circumstances? Okay, so what would you do or what have you done when you find a lot of money in the street? What would you do if you were famous? What do you do when you go out? Or what would you do if you go out this weekend? And what would you do if you spoke English very well? Okay, so you are going to use these prompts and you are going to discuss the following questions. So you're going to answer the following questions. So if I find money in the street, you do what? Or when you find money in the street, what is it that you do? If people are famous, what is it that most people actually do? If you go out on the weekend, what is it that you do? And when people speak English very well, what is it that they do? Okay, so you are going to answer these prompts using these prompts here. and using this information over here, okay? So I'm giving you a couple of minutes to do this. I'll stop sharing so you can work in Teams, okay? To do this very, very, very quickly. Then what I want you to do is to make a list. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry. Before we go into that, I'm going to show you in your books, okay? We're going to do a couple of things at the same time, okay? So we're doing what I ask you to do, please. And we are also starting to work with the following lesson, okay? So you're going to discuss what are the main reasons why people commit a crime. I want you to make a list, okay? Because you're sharing notes. You also listen to 3 extracts from interviews with criminals. I want you to discuss which of the reasons you thought of it in exercise 1 are mentioned. You're going to, you listen already the extracts again, and you took notes about each speaker under the following headings: crime, age of criminal, reasons for crime, plans for future. So you're going to compare your notes, okay? And then finally, you are going to discuss these questions. What are the 3 reasons why these people became criminal? Do people become criminals in your country for the same reasons? So this is what you are discussing, okay? So I'm giving you 5 minutes to do this, so I'll stop sharing this. Yes, Alberto?
Pardon. Teacher, I have trouble with doing this lesson because tonight, no, last night, I think the page for the English lab was down, and I couldn't access to the audios.
To the audios. Okay, whereas Alberto, the only person who was not able to listen to the audios?
Me too, teacher.
Me, teacher. The page was having troubles.
Okay, so we're going to do the following thing. Okay, I'm giving you just 2 minutes to discuss the previous questions, and then I'll play the audio so you can take notes, okay? The thing is, guys, that we don't have that much time, so that's why, and I understand, okay? So I'm giving you just 2 minutes to discuss the questions I already told you, the ones in the slide, okay? And then we're going back to check the listening, okay? So just give me a minute. So we are working in trios, guys. Very, very quickly, please.
Hola. Oye, sí, es que no he podido cambiarlo. Es que bajé el video, pero no puedo mandarlo. Dice que está muy grande. Sí.
Ay.
Arlette, ¿sí escuchaste?
Más o menos.
Entendí que lo de la 118, ¿no? Donde el por qué hacen, ¿no? Ajá. Well, so in genetic doses, the text mentions that some people commit crimes because of biological factors has a long tradition. That is one of the causes. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Even in the last paragraph mentions three main reasons why people commit crimes. It mentions the genetic argument, the environment argument, like you said, Jonathan, and the choice argument, like a career decision. What do you think, Arlette?
I agree with you, and also it could be that the people sometimes it can be very ambitious. So as Jonathan said, that people prefer to choose the easy way, and they don't want to que sea difícil todo eso. Entonces, pues sí, que sea fácil para ellos. Y so they choose the, well, yes, as Jonathan said, the easy way because they are very ambitious. Yes, I think that's all. Creo que no ven que nos puso como una diapositiva azul. Creo que era también eso. Sí.
Which do you think are these reasons?
I think that, for example, the people commit crime because they are angry or they lose their tempo.
Okay, their temper. Okay, so then it is an emotional situation. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Alejandro. Any other reason, guys?
Sometimes because
Sorry.
Frida, please go ahead. Who was talking? Frida?
No, there is Anna.
Okay, but please, Frida, tell us a reason. Why do you think people commit crime?
Okay. I think sometimes, not every time, is because there's need money or for necessity. But yes, I agree more with Alejandro. The people that commit crimes, they are angry, or there are, for example, on Mexico, the narco is very difficult to how would you say salir de ahí?
To get out of
yes,
or
to get out of, to live to this breed of narco is very difficult, and we know that because Mexico. But yes, I think it's more for necessity, or because they want the best for their family. But it's a difficult topic. I think it's very deeply.
It is not as there is no single reason. So that's why we're talking about the main reasons you think. Okay. Yes, Anna, is there anything else you would like to add?
No, teacher. It was something like Frida said.
Okay, thank you. Jenny, is there any reason you raised your hand? Would you like to share something?
Yes, I think that sometimes the people like to get the things by the easy way. For example, some people prefer to do the pickpocketing instead of work hard for your own things. And I don't know, maybe that's the main reason to do a minor crime, I think.
Okay, thank you, Jenny. Jonathan? Okay, in poverty. Okay, so you think it is on the is part the government's fault? Part of it. Okay. Okay, good. Thank you, Jennifer. Anything else you would like to add?
I agree a lot with Jenny because we are jumping out to major crimes in regions where we know the narco has a lot of powers. But here, sorry about that. Here in the city, it's really common that the people commit crimes like speeding or not paying their taxes, and they, for example, in the metro, there were
subway?
In the subway there were a lot of sellers that didn't pay from the taxes, that blackmail other persons selling their products over there, and they called themselves protectores of these sellers, and that's the way of living. And they say they're doing a job that needs to be done, but it's actually just an easy way to get money. I know, like Irving just said, that the government has a lot of participation over there because of the education that it provides to the people. But also the education they receive in home is really important, because you can find someone that lives in a place, we could say, I don't want to name any ninguna colonia, ninguna parte, because
but you could say that in a poor environment.
Yeah, poor environment, but
or in poverty. people living in poverty.
Yep, but if your family raised you well and teach you good values, you won't commit a crime, and you wouldn't even thought of committing a crime, even if it's just robber. A rob that an accidental rob or pickpocket, not pickpocketing or shoplifting, like drinking any milk without paying it. So the person that really commit a crime, minor crime, are for facility, for lack of education, or in my opinion, not in this situation when someone else is driving to you into committing it by force. But I see it that way, as Jamie said.
Okay, so thank you very much to you all, guys. So you see, we're talking about different kinds of crimes. So therefore, pinpointing the main reasons is not that easy. It is a multifactorial situation, as some of you mentioned, okay? So therefore, there is no right or wrong answer to this question. That's why the assignment was to make a list, because we may find many different reasons, okay? However, this lesson has to do with these reasons why people commit crimes. So there are experts who have classified this reason and in different categories, okay? So that's why the idea was to listen to 3 extracts from interviews with criminals. These criminals provided information on the reasons why they commit crimes, okay? So what we're going to do is that we're going to do 2 in 1, okay? Why? Because we're going to listen to check the main reasons why these people committed crimes, but we're also taking notes on the type of crime these people committed, the age of the criminal, the reasons for the crime, and their plans for the future. So please remember that we're listening to 3 people. Entonces, para cada uno de ellos, vamos a tomar notas, okay? Entonces, which is the crime, age of criminal, and reasons for crime, and plans for future. I'm only playing it once because I think once is enough, okay? But in case, I'll stop sharing. So in case you think it's not enough, please let me know, okay? So just give me a second, please, so I can share the sound and optimize the video. Just give me a second. I know what I've done. Sorry, guys. Now this is not what I need to do. Just give me a second. I don't know what I'm doing. One second. Sorry, guys. I don't know where I put the audio. Just give me a second.
Unit 12, Recording 1. 1.
It's no surprise I'm in prison. I'm just like my dad. He was a big man and he had a very quick temper. He was violent at home, always hitting me and my mum. And he was violent outside the home, always picking arguments and fighting with people. So he was in and out of prison all the time. I'm the same. That's why I'm in jail at the moment. Me and some mates, we went to a club. Someone said something I didn't like, and I hit him really hard, so he was badly injured. The police came and took me off to the station. In the corridor of the police station, I did something really stupid. I lost my temper with a police officer and attacked him. I'm sorry now, of course. If I'd learned to control my temper when I was a kid, I wouldn't have hit the police officer. We just can't do that. In prison, I attend a class on how to control your anger. I'm learning a lot from the instructor and the other people in the class. I think it'd be useful when I come out of prison. I'll be able to control my temper better. Actually, all I want to do now is keep out of trouble, settle down, and lead a normal life.
2.
The newspapers called me Mr. Big. I liked that, but I didn't like the sentence I got. 20 years in prison. I didn't expect to be caught. You see, I plan crimes, but I don't actually commit them. I get other people to do that. I know I'm very intelligent. Everyone says so. If I had wanted to, I could have become a top businessman or maybe a lawyer. But early on, I decided to follow a life of crime. It was an easy way to make money. And later, I started planning really big robberies. That's what I really enjoyed. I organised some big robberies and we made lots of money. But then, I planned a robbery at the airport. Gold bullion, worth over £10 million. Unfortunately, my team of robbers made a mistake. They stayed at the airport too long. If they had done the job more quickly, they would have left in time and the police wouldn't have caught them. One of my gang gave my name to the police and I was arrested. I'm 51 now. When I get out of prison, I'll buy a villa in Spain and retire there. Plenty of my friends are already over there.
3.
My parents didn't have much money, but they were good to me. We lived in a poor area in Glasgow. A lot of people were unemployed and the crime rate was high. When I was about 8 years old, I joined a gang of girls and we used to go shoplifting, stealing things from shops and stores. It was great fun until we got caught. I'll never forget my mum's face when the police officer came to our door. Then, when I was a teenager, I started stealing from houses, and when they caught me, I was sent to reform school. That's where they put young people who commit crimes. When I came out, I couldn't get a job, and I was unemployed for over a year. So, what choice did I have? If I hadn't been unemployed, I wouldn't have started robbing cash machines. I was sent to prison for 2 years. I'm 21 now, and I don't want to go back to prison. I think I've been so unlucky in my life. I might have tried harder to lead an honest life if I hadn't been unemployed. Anyway, now I'm going to move out of the area and make a new start somewhere else.
Okay, guys, so would you like me to play it again? Yes, no?
For me, it's fine, teacher, but I don't know.
What about the rest?
Fine, teacher.
Yes? Okay. So, sorry? Okay. So if everyone is okay with just listening to it once, that's great. Okay, so.
Teacher.
Yes.
I have a question. For example, in the listening, there was an expression that in the speaker too said the people said so.
Mm-hmm.
It's like equal people say that.
Algo así. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's you are confirming what other people said. Okay, guys. So sorry. So the idea, as I said, was to listen to different kinds of things at the same time. So that's why we're checking lots of things. Okay, so just give me a second, please. Okay. So where is it? Okay, so the first question is, okay, so which of the reasons you thought of it in exercise 1 are mentioned, okay? That was the first thing, but we're going to do this question at the end, okay? So let's see. It was a second, please. Here it is. Okay, so Manuel, please, what is it that the first speaker said? Okay, what was the crime he committed?
He said that he had a bad temper.
No, but what was the crime he committed?
So for that reason, he attacked a police officer.
Okay, so the crime he committed was that he attacked a police officer. Okay, good. The second question is the age of the criminal. Did you get how old was the first criminal? Or the information was not given?
It was not given.
It was not given. Okay, so which was the reason, sorry, for his crime, Angel?
Because he had a bad temper, and his father was violent with him and his mother.
Okay, so Jenny, did you understand which were his plans for the future?
In the case of the speaker number 1?
Yes.
I think he hoped to have a normal life.
Okay.
When he go out, the person.
Okay, so you see the speaker one hit someone in a club. He attacked a police officer. Obviously, as we discussed, the age of the criminal was not given, but he sounded young, okay? He lost his temper, and he hadn't learned to control it as a child, like his dad. He is a violent man, okay? His plans for the future is to keep out of trouble, to settle down, and to lead a normal life, okay? So those are his plans for the future. Thank you. Frida, what about the second speaker? What was the crime he committed? Frida, are you here?
Yes, teacher.
Sorry.
Is the Mr. Big?
So what was the crime? Which was the crime he committed?
I wrote that he planned crimes, but he don't actually commit them.
Well, he did commit the crimes. But the thing is, what was the last crime? Why is he in jail? What was the last crime he committed?
The robbery, no?
What is it that he robbed?
I write the robbery of the airport. The airport.
He organized a robbery at the airport. Yes.
Yes.
How old is he?
She has. Yes, he, Mr. Big. Sorry, 51. I think.
51 years old. Okay,
Yes.
Thank you, Arled. Which is the reason for crime? Why is it that he committed the crime? Or why is it that he commits crimes?
Because he chose the easy way to get money.
And what are his plans for the future?
He will buy a villa in Spain.
Okay, so you see, Speaker 2 organized a robbery at the airport, gold worth over 10 million pounds. Es decir, robó oro con un valor de 10 millones de libras, okay? So the age of the criminal, 51, as you mentioned. Reasons for crime, easy to make a living, and he enjoys planning big robberies. This is something he actually enjoys. And his plans for the future are to retire in a villa in Spain, okay? Thank you. Alberto, please, what about the third speaker? What was the crime she committed?
He committed
She. It's a girl.
No, she. Okay. She committed young age. She started stealing houses.
Okay.
Her age was 21.
So she is 21 years old, okay?
Yes, she's 21.
Which is the reason for crime she mentioned?
She said that she comes from a poor background. So she said that stealing was the only option that she had
to make a living.
And her plans for the future, it is to make a new start somewhere else.
Okay, so yes, so as we said, her crime is stealing from shops, houses, and cash machines. She is 21 years old, and she comes from a poor background with no money and no job. And her idea is to move out of the area and start a new life, okay? Good, guys. Problems, questions, or complaints regarding meaning, vocabulary, or anything else mentioned in the listening?
No, teacher.
Okay, great, guys. Great. So you see, guys, then after this exercise, we have a reading, okay? So this was a listening exercise, and the listening was just to kind of like give you the necessary vocabulary and background for the following listening, okay? So this listening is a very interesting one because in this listening, what we have is that the author mentions 3 reasons why people commit crimes: genetic causes, environment, and choice. So from the speaker one, probably you haven't read this article, probably you have, okay? But it doesn't really matter whether you have read it or not, because just by the subtitle, genetic cause, environment, or choice, we can decide. So the first speaker, Jennifer, what do you think is his cause? Was his cause genetic, choice, or environment? What do you think?
Genetic and environment.
You think genetic and environment?
Yeah, because we don't really know if it has a genetic factor, but we know that his growing environment was full of violence.
Exactly.
So if it isn't a genetic factor, the environment factor, it's all over.
Okay. Yes, you are right. Thank you. Okay, Aurelia, how about you? How about the second speaker? Which factor do you think pushed this person into crime?
Mr. Rickson?
Yes. You think it's a genetic cause, a choice, or an environment?
A choice, because he said that he enjoyed the organized robbery.
Because he said yes, that he enjoyed planning robberies. Okay, good, thank you. Ricardo, please, what about the third speaker? Which of these 3 causes do you think is the one that fits him better?
I think it's environment and choice.
Environment and choice. Why environment?
Environment because she said that he lived in with a poor yes, it's a poor background. She lived in a poor background. Choice because when she saw that he didn't have money, she took the decision to.
She made the decision.
She made the decision to stealing from shops and cash machines.
Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, so you see, they kind of fit these reasons, although they are not the only reasons people commit crimes. Okay, but this is just an article. Okay, now you had to. Well, we actually didn't read the text. Some of you have, but there is no need to read the text. Just by guessing and understanding the main ideas, we may be able to answer these statements. So the idea is to look at the summary statements of the main ideas below and match them with the causes in the text. So as I said before, it doesn't really matter whether you have read or not, but since we only have 3 causes, we have to match them to the causes, okay? So Shevel, would you please read the first summary statement and tell us to which cause do you think it refers to?
Yes, the genetic causes.
Would you please read the first statement?
Yes, genetic causes.
No, the statements here.
Sorry. Yes, antisocial adults often produce antisocial children. And I matched them with the environment.
Okay, I think this one is a genetic cause, okay? Why? Somewhere in the reading, it says, okay. Dice, although experts today no longer believe this, they do argue that human behavior can be linked to an individual's genes. Okay, so that's why seems to be a genetic link. Okay, so that's why that means that antisocial adults often produce antisocial children. You have here, it says, studies of adopted children who show criminal behavior suggest that their behavior is more similar to their biological parents' behavior than their adopted. Como estamos hablando de niños antisociales, son educados por gente antisocial, pues.
Teacher, in environment said researchers in the area argue that early antisocial behavior in childhood often leads to a future of criminal behavior, but it's different. But because then say problem children tend to grow up into problem adults, and problem adults tend to produce more problem children.
Yes, I know. The difference here is that we're talking about what you read. It says early antisocial behavior in childhood often leads to future criminal behaviors, pero no quiere decir, pero es antisocial behavior en la persona. No que se herede, pues. Y aquí este statement está diciendo que la gente antisocial produce hijos antisociales, que se los heredan, pues, que le heredan.
Ok.
Es antisociedad, así como se dice en español. Okay? Thank you. Okay, so Carla, please, would you please read this second summary statement?
Yes, teacher. Number 2?
Yes, please.
Criminals think carefully before they decide on a life of crime.
So which cause do you think it is?
Is choice causes.
Yes, it's a choice cause, okay? Because they decide, it is their own choice to do it or not, okay? Thank you, Carla. Jonathan, please, would you please read the third summary statement? Okay, I think Carla is not here. Okay, so Anna, can you help, please?
Yes, teacher. Young people who behave badly tend to become criminals. Environment?
Exactly, because of what we just read. Okay, and these people who show antisocial behavior early in life tend to become criminals later on in life. Okay, thank you. Alejandro, please, what about next? Number 5? No, number 4.
Yes, teacher. People used to think that someone's physical features were a cause of crime.
Cause
of crime. I think that is genetic causes.
Yes, genetic causes, okay? Jenny Gobea, please, what about number 5?
Number 5, some experts now believe that people commit crimes because of their genes. I think it's genetic cause.
Genetic cause. Thank you. Angel, please, number 6.
Yes, teacher. Criminals consider what they can lose and gain by committing a crime. And it's a choice.
Yes, it's a choice factor. Okay, so when criminals consider what they can lose and gain by committing a crime, is because they have thought about it. Okay, so this is a choice factor. Okay, thank you. Now, Frida, which reason in the text do you think is the most common cause of crime? This is your own personal opinion. What do you think?
I think the environment.
Do you think is the most common cause of crime? Why?
I don't know, maybe because I see in my I don't know, in my country.
In Mexico.
But yes, but I agree with this paragraph that the environment and the behavior in childhood often leads to a future or criminal behavior. I know that these people have the people have choice on thinking how thoughts and all of that, but the environment I think involves a lot of the bad and good decisions that you can do.
Yes, in the majority of the cases, it seems that environment is the one pushing people to commit crimes. Yes, thank you. Okay, guys, so now let's go to the vocabulary exercise that is dealing with collocations. Please remember that collocations are words that always go together and they have a different meaning when the words are separated, okay? So the first one, you have behavior. And behavior in this case has 5 different collocations, okay? So Manuel, which are those collocations for behavior?
I only found 2.
Okay, which were the ones you found?
Criminal.
Okay, so criminal behavior and?
Criminal behavior and human behavior.
Okay, so you have 2 kinds of behavior. Please remember that here we're dealing with a noun working as an adjective. Well, it could be a noun or an adjective working as an adjective to explain better what kind of behavior is that we're talking about. So criminal is an adjective and behavior is a noun, but human is a noun and is working as an adjective on behavior to explain what kind of behavior, which is human. Okay, good. Thank you, Manuel. Okay, so Arleth, any other collocation you found with behavior besides criminal and human?
I found good behavior.
Good behavior?
Bad behavior.
Behavior.
Behavior. Biological parent. I'm not sure about this. Biological parents' behavior.
Okay, it's possible, but you see, what we have in here is a longer, well, this is a compound, not necessarily a collocation. ¿Por qué? Porque tienes, what did you say? Biological parents, that's a compound, that's biological parents, and then behavior. Okay, pero aquí, let me see, in which line is it? I just want to check something. In which line have you found it?
In genetic causes?
No, este no es collocation because I forgot. You have an apostrophe with that means that is what we have here is a possessive. Entonces, los collocations normalmente no tienen possessives. Aquí es un compound, pero porque tiene un apóstrofe. Es el comportamiento de los papás, biológicos. ¿Yes, Manuel?
It could be antisocial behavior.
Exactly. That is a collocation. Antisocial behavior. Si tiene un apóstrofe y una S, eso es un posesivo, no un collocation. ¿Ok? Entonces tenemos criminal behavior, human behavior, good or bad behavior, and antisocial behavior. ¿Ok? Good. Thank you, guys. Aurelia, please, what about tradition? What do you have for tradition?
I don't find it, teacher.
You couldn't find it? Okay, Alberto, have you?
Me neither, teacher. I'm searching for it right now, but I don't know.
Okay, just give me a second. I cannot see who raised his or her hand. Jennifer, please.
Long tradition.
Exactly, long tradition. Okay, there are all kinds of tradition. Long tradition is one collocation. Okay, good, thank you. Ricardo, please, what about the next, which is link?
Genetic link.
Exactly, genetic link. There are all kinds of link, but here we're dealing with genetic link. Thank you. Shevel, please, what about next, which is relationships?
Close relationships.
Exactly. So there are all kinds of relationships, but here we're talking about a close relationship. Okay, thank you. Brenda, please, what about next circle?
Vicious circle?
Yes, we have vicious circle. Okay. Yes, we only have one. Okay, thank you. Brenda, Carla, please. Oh no, Carla is not here.
Here, teacher.
Yes, you are. Sorry. Carla, please. And the last one, decision.
Yes, teacher. Career decision.
Career decision. Okay, so but please remember, when we talk about career decision, is what we actually do for a living. Acuérdense que career es lo que pasa después de la universidad. Okay, the other one is major. Okay, good guys, thank you. Problems, questions, or complaints regarding these collocations? So if there are no problems, no questions, no complaints, let's go to the following exercise where you had to complete the sentences with the phrases from exercise 5A, okay? So Jonathan, would you please do number 1? This one over here. It could be bad behavior, but bad behavior does not necessarily take you to prison. Sí, porque por ejemplo un niño se porta mal, pero eso no lo lleva necesariamente a la cárcel. Ricardo, please.
Criminal behavior.
Yes, criminal behavior leads you to prison. Okay? Entonces, obviamente criminal behavior is a bad behavior, but not every bad behavior or all bad behavior is a criminal behavior. Entonces, bad podría ser un poquito más general que criminal. Okay? Thank you. Alejandro, please, what about the second sentence? Alejandro not here? Okay, so Jennifer, please.
Her parents were away from home so often that she was unable to form close relationships with either of them.
Exactly. So her parents were away from the house so often that she was unable to form close relationships. So you see, guys, here we have to be careful also with the verb we use with the collocations. ¿Por qué? Porque we form close relationships. Okay, entonces hay muchos otros verbos que podemos utilizar, pero form is one of them. Okay, thank you. Brenda, please, what about number 3?
The USA has a long tradition of allowing its citizens to own guns.
Exactly. So the US has a long tradition. Okay. What is this tradition about? Allowing its citizens to own guns. Okay. Thank you. Manuel, please. What about number 4?
Yes. There are some teenagers in our town whose behavior is beginning to annoy us. They write on walls and shoot at people all the time.
So what behavior, sorry?
Bad behavior.
Bad behavior is possible, but there is one that is even more specific. Which would you use? Es que bad y good son buenos adjetivos, pero son muy generales. Entonces, ¿cuál sería uno más específico que bad y good?
I would say criminal behavior, but we
have already used it, right? Alejandro,
yes.
Can you help?
It could be vicious circle.
No, behavior is okay. The question is what kind of behavior. So Frida, can you help?
Maybe antisocial behavior?
Yes, that's better. Okay, so there are some teenagers in our town whose antisocial behavior is beginning to annoy us. Vicious circle does not fit because of the kind of word we need here. Okay, thank you. Jenny, can you do the last one, please? Number 5. No, Jenny's not here. So Anna, can you help, please? With number 5.
Some people make a career decision at an early age, but others need time to decide what to do in their lives.
Exactly. So some people make a career decision at an early age, but others need time to decide what to do in their lives. So that's why, because of the context, this word is better. Okay? Good, guys. Problems, questions, or complaints, o todo el mundo la sacó perfectamente un 10.
Un 10.
Perfect.
Why antisocial?
In number 4, why antisocial?
Yeah, or maybe it's because I have a different perception of what antisocial means. I don't know. It sounds weird.
Okay, please remember that we have to think on the meaning of words, not only the meaning we have, but there are more meanings to those words. Okay, so in English, writing on the walls and shouting at people all the time, that is an antisocial behavior in English. We may have another idea of what antisocial means, but in English, this is what antisocial means.
Okay.
So that's why I was saying, bad behavior is possible, pero bad behavior es muy general, así como good behavior. O sea, de hecho, los adjetivos que más aprendemos y que más utilizamos son good y bad, pero si yo digo, es que este chavo se portó mal, no digo nada porque portarse mal implica muchas cosas. ¿Sí me entienden? En cambio, antisocial es mucho más específico. Criminal behavior también es mucho más específico que good y bad. ¿Ok? Entonces, más tiene que ver con eso. Okay, guys, so the grammar form of this lesson is a very interesting form, which is the third conditional, okay? So this is the first time we're actually going, well, this is supposed to be the first time we're actually going into third conditional. Before we have seen zero, first and second conditional, so we shouldn't have problems with those. Anyhow, we're going through those in a couple of seconds. Just give me a minute to go into this very, very quickly, okay? So Arlette, please, look at the examples and answer the questions. So if the sentence says, if they had done the job more quickly, they would have left in time. Did they do the job quickly?
No.
Okay, so did they leave in time, Aurelia? Okay, Aurelia is not here. Ricardo, did they leave in time?
No.
No, they didn't. Okay, so please remember that when dealing with any grammatical form in English, more than the form, we're dealing with the meaning. Entonces, if they had done the job more quickly, they would have left in time, means they didn't do the job quickly, therefore they didn't leave in time. Okay, good, thank you. Jonathan, please, what
Teacher.
about this? Yes.
But for example, if they done the job, it could be that yes they did.
No,
but
if they had done it, si lo hubiesen hecho.
Ah, ok.
Entonces, no, eso quiere decir que no lo hicieron. Si la condición es, si lo hubiesen hecho, quiere decir que no lo hicieron. Okay? Don't worry, we're going to go into this later in a minute, okay? So, Jonathan, please, if I wanted to, I could have become a top businessman. So, did he want to become a top businessman? No, he didn't, okay? Thank you. Manuel, did he become a top businessman?
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't, okay? So he could have if he had wanted, but he didn't become because he didn't want to, okay? Good, thank you. Sentence number 3. If I had learned to control my temper when I was a kid, I wouldn't have hit the police officer, okay? So, Alberto, did he learn to control his, did he learn to control his temper?
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't, okay? So, Chevel, did he hit the police officer?
Can you repeat, please, teacher?
Yes. Did he hit the police officer?
No, teacher. He didn't.
Please listen again. If I had learned to control my temper when I was a kid, I wouldn't have hit the police officer.
Yes,
so did he? Yes, he did. Entonces, he didn't learn to control his temper, therefore, he hit the police officer. Okay? Good. Now, the 4th sentence. Alejandro, please. I might have tried harder if I hadn't been unemployed. So, was she unemployed?
No, she wasn't.
Are you sure? I might have tried it harder if I hadn't been unemployed. So was she unemployed?
Yes, she was.
Yes, she was unemployed, okay?
Yes, I confused.
Yes, I know. Okay, so Jennifer, did she try harder?
No, she didn't.
No, she didn't try harder, okay? So you see, that's what we have to be careful with. Here we're dealing with the 3rd conditional, and we are using the 3rd conditional to talk about unreal situations in the past, okay? Therefore, situations that are contrary to the facts, okay? Now, how many, this is a question, okay? So how many conditionals are there, Brenda?
3, no, 4, 0, 1 second and third.
Okay, so there are, well, it depends. For some people, for some linguists, 0 and first conditional are the same, although for me they are not the same. Entonces podremos decir que hay entre 3 y 4 dependiendo si los separamos o no. Pero tenemos 0, first, second, and third. Y luego vienen los mixed, okay? So, thank you. So, Carla, what is a conditional sentence? How would you, if you were asked, well, I'm asking you, how would you describe a conditional sentence? What are the characteristics of conditional sentences in general?
It depends of the condition that have to pass or for we do something.
Okay, so how many clauses are there in a conditional sentence?
Two.
There are 2 clauses, okay? So which are those 2 clauses? How do you name them? How do you call them?
Cause clause.
And the second part would be the what?
The if clause.
Okay, so the if clause or condition clause. Sí. Y luego la otra cláusula, ¿cómo se le llama?
Result.
The result clause. Entonces, acuérdense que clause es una parte de la oración. La oración es larga, ¿ok? Por eso estamos hablando aquí de conditional sentences. But conditional sentences are made out of two clauses. The condition or if clause and the result clause, ¿ok? Entonces, that's why they are called conditional, because there is a conditional clause or if clause and there is a result. So please remember, the conditional clause or if clauses are used to express that the action in the main clause, es decir, la que no tiene if, can only take place if a certain condition, that is, in the clause with if, is fulfilled. Por eso se le llaman oraciones condicionales. ¿Ok? Entonces, a la otra cláusula, la que no tiene el if, se le llama main clause or result clause también. Sí, tiene dos nombres. ¿Ok? Why? Because it will depend on the conditional we are talking about. Okay? Entonces, that's why we have a main clause and a result clause. Okay? Okay. Now, the if clause gives the condition in the clause with if. Okay? Now, if I say I don't eat the food if it is out of date, okay, the main clause is I don't eat it. Okay, por eso tiene el resultado y no tiene if. Pero la if clause tiene la condición. Entonces, if it is out of date or if the food is out of date, I don't eat it. Okay? It is very important, guys, to remember the two clauses you have. ¿Por qué? Porque luego las cambiamos de lugar y luego se nos olvida cuál es la if clause. Por eso hace rato cuando pregunté sobre los verbos y me dijeron que, bueno, que cuando pregunté sobre las horas, no fue en esta clase. Sorry, guys. Es que en la otra clase también estamos viendo este mismo tema, pero lo vimos diferente. Entonces, when dealing with conditional clauses, this is what we have to be careful with, okay? We have to be careful to fully understand which is the main clause or result clause and which is the if clause or condition clause. ¿Sí? Porque si no entendemos cuál es la condición, no entendemos cuál es el resultado. Problems, questions, or complaints up to here, guys? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
No, teacher.
No, teacher.
No problems. Okay. Entonces, what do we use the zero conditional for? Ana, what is the main use of the zero conditional?
We use zero conditional when we speak in present.
Bueno, es que aquí hay dos cositas. Estamos utilizando el presente, yes, pero ese es en cuestión de forma. La pregunta es el uso, ¿para expresar qué? To express what? Or to talk about what?
Condition. I don't remember well, but it's like the action and the result is in the same time. I mean.
Yes, I know what you mean, pero acuérdense, esa es la forma. Cuando yo aprendo una forma de la lengua, o sea, una estructura, digamos, sí, tengo la forma y eso está bien, pero yo necesito que ustedes recuerden para qué uso estas formas, porque si no, en un examen de lengua me va a ir muy bien, pero luego no las sé utilizar. No sé para qué para qué la teacher está aquí, dale y dale que darle con los condicionales. Entonces, Frida, do you remember when do we use zero conditional? What do we mean when we use it? Is Frida here? I cannot see. Jenny?
Yes, teacher, but I don't remember.
Okay. Jenny, can you help?
I don't know if I remember well, but I think that we use the zero conditional when we are talking about facts or real statements.
Bueno, facts, yes. Real statements, I don't know exactly what you mean.
Well, like scientific facts or something
pero eso
that
es
is
fact.
true.
Pero eso es fact. Something that is 100% true. That's a fact. Yes. Okay, so yes, that's the simplest use of zero conditional. Entonces, please remember, guys, there's always a condition clause and a result or main clause. Entonces, ¿pero qué significa la diferencia entre todos los condicionales? La teacher no nada más está aquí hablando de condicionales porque se enamoró de los condicionales y entonces quiere que los aprendamos. There is a reason behind of this, okay? So you see, the example I'm giving you is, if the food is out of date, I don't eat it. You see, we are talking here about things that are always true or that normally happen. Algunas de estas pueden ser hechos, algunas no. ¿Por qué? Porque esta es mi condición. If the food is out of date, I don't eat it. Pero habrá gente que le vale un cuerno que la comida ¿cómo se dice? Que la fecha de caducidad ya pasó y se siguen comiendo la comida. ¿Ok? Entonces, esa es la diferencia entre un fact y eso es una diferencia entre algo que para mí es siempre verdad. Siempre que algo está echado a perder o que está vencida su fecha de caducidad, yo no lo consumo. Un fact sería, if you heat water at 100 degrees, it boils. Ese es un hecho porque es un scientific fact and it's proven. It can be proven. Pero este no puede ser probado científicamente. Sin embargo, para mí siempre es verdad. ¿Ok? Problems, questions, or complaints up to here? Entonces son dos usos diferentes, ¿ok? Similares, pero al final de cuentas son diferentes. Ok, good. Thank you. So, Ángel, what about the first conditional? When do I use the first conditional? To talk about what?
When we want to talk about likely situations or probably.
Or probable, likely or probable situations?
Yes.
Okay, so, sorry. That's one of the reasons, but not all of them, okay? So you see, guys, summarizing, if something happens, that means the condition, the result is always true, okay? Now, present clause, present result main clause. So please remember that. Sí, en forma, sí, y eso está bien que se lo sepan, pero no es lo único que acompaña al uso de los condicionales, okay? Now, next. Here we're dealing with the first conditional. So if you study, you will pass the exam, okay? To talk about a probable event happening in the future. Okay? No en el presente, en el futuro. Therefore, what I'm expressing is, if something happens, that means the condition, the result will be true in the future. Okay? Therefore, the if clause is in present, could be simple, continuous or perfect, pero en presente. ¿Ok? ¿Por qué les pongo esto? Porque siempre pensamos que nada más es presente simple y no necesariamente. Más adelante vamos a ver que puede ser cualquiera de los presentes, simple, continuo o perfecto. ¿Ok? And therefore, the result, the main clause, goes in future con will. También pueden utilizar can, must, might, may, etc. Plus an infinitive without two, perdón. ¿Por qué? Porque estamos utilizando un modal. ¿Ok? Good. What about the second conditional? Alberto, when do we use the second conditional?
To talk about imaginary or improbable situations and their consequences.
Okay. So, therefore, if I have something like, if I won the lottery, I would buy a yacht. Please remember que la pronunciación de would es como si fuera una W, una U, would, no would. La L is a silent sound, okay? So to talk about, yes?
Como, like, it is the same pronunciation when we say would?
Yes, similar. Would. So you see, guys, here we need to please remember the tense. To talk about present or future hypothetical or unreal situations. ¿Por qué? Porque puede ser acerca del presente o acerca del futuro. Okay? This is something important to remember. Okay? So therefore, if something happened or happens, okay, the result would be true. Okay? So therefore, I have passed simple or continuous in the first part in the if clause. I need to remember that. And would, could, or might plus infinitive. Okay? So this is the form. Now, what about the third conditional? Arlef, how do you make the third conditional?
We use past perfect plus could have plus past participle.
Okay, and please remind us, Ricardo, what do we use the third conditional for?
Which is the question, teacher?
What do we use the third conditional for? Please remind us, porque ya lo acabamos de ver, entonces para qué, nada más para que recordemos para qué lo usamos.
It's for talk about real situations.
Uh-huh. In which tense?
In the past.
Exactly. So to talk about unreal situations in the past. So if I have something like, if you had been sick, you would have gone to the doctor. So, yes, to talk about, sorry guys. So if something had happened, the result would have been true. That is to talk about a past hypothetical or unreal situation. Okay? That's why in the if clause, I need past perfect, simple or continuous. And in the result clause, I need would, could, or might, plus have, plus past participle. Okay? Entonces, ojo, porque no es un presente perfecto. Es un have y es un plus participle, aunque parezca presente perfecto, pero no es presente perfecto. That's why things get confusing, because we are using all of these tenses could be used in positive or their negative form. Por eso las preguntas eran, was she unemployed? Did she try harder? Because we may get different meanings from these conditions, okay? Now, problems, questions, or complaints regarding the conditionals up to here? So please, guys.
Could you put the presentation again, please, with the third condition?
With the third, just give me a minute, please. Yes, with the third. Okay, yes.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, so you see, the problem with conditionals is that you see, obviously it depends on the context, but you may have the same sentence using different conditionals. So that's why we have to be careful. If I get sick, I go to the doctor. If I get sick, I will go to the doctor. If I got sick, I would go to the doctor. If I had been sick, I would have gone to the doctor. Entonces, en un contexto como este, cualquiera de los condicionales queda. ¿Ok? Todo depende de qué quiero comunicar. That's why the use of it is very important. En algunos ejercicios que les ponen, obviamente, si me ponen a mí, if I get sick, pues yo sé que tiene dos posibilidades nada más. I go to the doctor or I will go to the doctor. Si me ponen I got sick, if I got sick, yo sé que la respuesta posible es I will go to the doctor. Y si me ponen if I had been sick, yo sé que le voy a poner I would have gone to the doctor si yo me sé la formulita. Pero ese no es el punto. El punto es, what do I mean when I use any of these conditionals? Es lo que quiero que recuerden siempre. ¿Para qué? ¿Qué quiero decir? ¿Ok? Entonces, if I get sick, I go to the doctor means every time I get sick, I go to the doctor. Así sea una gripita, sea un dolorcito de cabeza, sea un algo. If I don't feel well, I go to the doctor. Next possibility is, if I get sick, I will go to the doctor. We're talking about the future. Si me enfermase, iría al doctor. ¿Okay? La otra es, if I got sick, I would go to the doctor. It's a hypothetical situation. And the last one, if I had been sick, means I am not sick. I would have gone to the doctor means I didn't go to the doctor, porque no me sentía mal. Entonces, that's why I need you to be aware on the content, porque a veces no va a ser tan fácil que yo diga, pues si es presente, entonces es presente, o si es presente es futuro. No, that's one thing. And the second thing is because please remember that since we have two clauses, we can move clauses out of order. Entonces, tampoco me sirve aprenderme la formulita, porque si me pusieran algo como I go to the doctor, pues si la fórmula me puede ayudar en alguna parte, pero no sé qué estoy diciendo. Y luego aparte porque también tenemos los mixed conditionals que vamos a ver en la lección siguiente. Entonces, por eso necesito aprenderme el uso. That's why just learning the form, the structure is not enough. That's why I need to go to the use. Okay? Go. Good, sorry. So problems, questions, or complaints up to here. Entonces, otra cosa que tienen los condicionales que necesito que revisemos es que no me pueden cambiar los tiempos. Es decir, si yo me aprendo la formulita está bien, pero necesito identificar, as I said, the if clause and the main or result clause. Es decir, if, si mi cláusula tiene if, is the if clause. Puede ir seguido de un presente, puede ir seguido de un pasado o puede ir seguido de un pasado perfecto. Esa es la básica. Pero ya vimos que puede cambiar los tiempos. Si es presente puede ser simple, continuo, perfecto. Si es pasado puede ser simple, continuo, perfecto. Entonces, that's what we have to be careful with. Y la segunda razón es because if I move the result clause out of order, I need to get rid of the comma porque el if funciona como la coma. ¿Okay? Entonces son varias cositas que necesito que recuerden de todos los condicionales. Problems, questions, or complaints up to here? Another very common mistake that I found is that when we memorize the form, if I get changed the order in the clauses, then I have problems. Porque si me aprendo if presente, coma presente, y me cambian el orden y me dicen I go to the doctor if I get sick, no pasa nada. ¿Por qué? Porque el if clause tiene presente y el result clause tiene presente. Pero si me ponen if I got sick, I would go to the doctor. Luego me terminan haciendo cosas raras como if I would get sick, I got to the doctor. Y esas cosas no me las pueden hacer. Por eso les indico, please remember what's the if clause and what's the result clause, which is the tense that goes in the if clause and which is the tense that goes in the result clause. Okay? Now, we don't have time to continue with the following exercise. We won't have time because the class is almost over. But please, guys, you have a couple of exercises on page 119. Okay? Just in a second, please, to show them to you. And you also have the language extra practice at the end of the book. So please answer those exercises as a practice, okay? So please, you have this exercise 7 and 8, but you also have the extra practice reference at the back of the book. And please, guys, start working on lesson 3, okay? Problems, questions, or complaints, guys? Speak now or forever, please.
No, teacher.
No, teacher.
Okay, so if there are no problems, no questions, no complaints, it was my pleasure being with you guys here. Thank you very much for being here with us. See you on Monday. Please remember that we only have 3 classes left, and that's it. Y nos vamos a ver el lunes, o sea, el lunes que empiezan los exámenes finales, en realidad nada más nos vamos a ver un día, porque todo me lo van a mandar por correo, pero sí nos tenemos que ver para que hagamos el listening. Porque el listening no les puedo compartir los audios, porque es el examen. Entonces nada más nos veríamos para hacer el listening, pero todo lo demás me lo van a mandar. Ya les explicaré yo cuando se acerque la fecha. ¿Vale?
Teacher, for Friday is the video that the presentation we have to make?
Yes, please. But you have, the due date will be till Monday 29. Pero si lo pueden hacer el viernes y lo puedo yo empezar a ver desde el viernes, estaría mucho mejor porque así yo ya pues, voy descargando el trabajo, ¿verdad? Pero bueno, en caso así gravísimo que no pudieran, el lunes.
Okay.
Okay, guys. So please